Welcome to the Business Trendsetter podcast, where we talk about trends and how to use them to grow your business. My name is Manny Turan.
I'm Adam Hartung.
And we are Spark Partners. To learn about how to grow your business, go to our website at sparkpartners.com or go to our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all the other popular brands of podcast platforms. Today, we have a very special guest, and we are introducing to the world officially here on our podcast, Sydney King, who is the host of Spark on the Street. So welcome, Sydney.
Thank you so much for having me. It is an honor to be here.
Fantastic. So I figured I've already worked quite a bit with Sydney here, and Adam, I'd like for you to kind of lead us on this one and give your thoughts on maybe some questions you might want to ask Sydney and how we might introduce her to the world.
Well, certainly we're expanding our footprint and our communication vehicles with our clients and those who just want to learn more about how to be a successful entrepreneur and how to grow their business. So let's start it off by saying this is the newest member of our team, welcome. And then what was your journey? What got you into Spark Partners? Why are you with us instead of all the million other things you could be doing in this marketplace where there are too many jobs and not enough workers?
Great question and observation as well, Adam. Thank you so much again for having me here. So basically, I actually do quite a bit of modeling and acting, and I've been wanting to get into hosting, actually. And Manny found me on my website and had reached out to me about being a moderator, actually, for a Zoom conference happening pretty soon called Growth with Grit. So that should be really exciting. And the reason that I chose to stick around is because I loved the vibe that he brought to me and really just the entrepreneurial spirit. It reminded me of myself. And it's hard to find people like that, or just people with genuine intentions, businesses with genuine intentions, and they just want to see you succeed, and I thought that was really great. And I have a business of my own called Sid Shakes, and so I really was interested also in the coaching. So that's been amazing. So once I was able to experience a little bit of what you guys have to offer, it was game over, and I was a part of the team, because this is something that I enjoy doing as well. So thank you.
Well, you've launched us off on Spark on the Street. Why don't you tell everybody what it is?
So Spark on the Street is a show that just started, how long ago would you say?
I think about a month ago.
About a month ago. We did our commercial and everything, and we've interviewed quite a bit of business owners already, and we have a line out the door for some more. But basically it's where we interview business leaders and entrepreneurs and discover their keys to success and where they're going, where they're at, maybe how they started. And the purpose of it is to educate and entertain and inspire.
Okay, so you started doing recordings about a month ago. How many have come out on the platform? How many are currently available?
So currently available, I think there's about four episodes that are out right now, and we still have some because we're basically releasing them weekly. So we're releasing the Spark on the Streets weekly right now. We're doing it on Thursdays, and it is going really well. I think the business owners are giving us great insight. Everyone has a different story, and I really think that each one can resonate with someone. So yeah, we have 4 available and more to come, and we also have a link for anyone local right now that wants to apply and be on the show.
Yeah, so we actually have another little bit of news. So we're currently on both Instagram and Facebook with these Spark on the Streets. But a couple of things are happening in the next few weeks. The first of which, all these are going to go on to LinkedIn as a platform. So you'll be able to see all these on LinkedIn. Secondarily, they're going to be all uploaded on our YouTube channel as well. And then thirdly, we're going to have a section on our website that will be mirrored. So we actually have sparkonthestreet.com that's going to forward to our website in a section where all these will be on there as well. So everything's kind of coming together. We have another gentleman who's sort of joining the team as a 1099, of course, the gig economy. His name's Sean Campbell, and he's going to be helping us to coalesce and bring together all these things that really, like she said, educate, entertain, and inspire.
All right. So today, if somebody hears our podcast and like to go listen to the first four Spark on the Streets, where do they go?
I would say the best place to go is our Instagram account at the Spark Partners.
So go Spark Partners on Facebook and then Spark Partners on Instagram, right?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Correct.
And there's a link. So there are the links to all four of them are there?
Yes, the full videos, the full interviews are there. They're about 3 to 5 minutes, I'd say. And it's basically uploaded on IGTV. So if you go to our Instagram account, you'll be able to see them right there.
Okay. And so, Manny, when do you think they'll be available on YouTube?
Everything's happening as we speak. We're thinking by this same time next week, they'll be all uploaded on our other platforms. As you can imagine, we're all quite busy and getting all the pieces together. So we're excited to have Sean Campbell on board. We just officially got note today of him joining the team, and he's just roaring to get started. And he actually has an extensive background in helping to grow social media platforms of some pretty large companies. So we're excited to have him on board. Of course, the more we're able to reach our customers in our community, the more value that we can give to the people. And certainly, my eyes were opened a number of years ago, Adam, when I met you at the Vistage event. There were all these things in my head that were like half-baked cookies. You came in and you helped to bake everything and really coalesce. That's the word of the day, by the way, and bring together all these elements that have created a critical mass. And so I'm excited about what this summer will bring to Spark Partners for sure.
All right. So let me make sure we're clarified. Do people go to Spark Partners?
The Spark
on the
Partners.
Street?
The
They go
Spark
to-
Partners on Instagram.
All right. Sorry.
That'll
Cut
be
you
the
off.
perfect place to go right now while everything is developing and being posted on other platforms.
All right. So it's the Spark Partners.
Yes.
Facebook and Instagram today. What's coming will be on our Spark Partners website and a YouTube channel.
YouTube channel, yes.
YouTube channel. What will it be? Which name will it be under?
I believe it's under the Spark Partners as well. That's also our YouTube handle.
Okay. All right. So and that should be there in a week, you said.
Yeah, absolutely. And something else to note that we're working on a pretty amazing webinar that will be featured on April 15th, limited availability. So once you listen to this podcast, immediately go to sparkguides.com and you can sign up to be part of that on April 15th at 11 a.m. Arizona Pacific time. So it's going to be an hour. It'll be moderated by Sydney here. It'll be Adam and I talking about really what it takes to grow a business. I know, Adam, the foundation of some of the core philosophy and content that you've come up with it has to do with getting out of that status quo mindset, right? So maybe give the listeners a bit of a flavor of the kind of things that we'll talk about at that webinar.
Well, I want to come back to that. I want to spend a little more time still here talking about Spark on the Street, talking with Sydney. So, Sydney, you said you've recorded 4 that are available. I think I understand you've recorded a few more that are still in production. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
And do you have what's your biggest insight, or what has surprised you? And you haven't been at it very long, but I'm sure you had a set of expectations as you began. It's now a month later. What's happened in that month? What have you learned?
That is a great question. I learned so much because we interview such different types of businesses. We've interviewed a brewery, we've interviewed a skincare brand. We just recently interviewed an engineering company that's worked with NASA and all types of huge guys. So we definitely don't have a demographic in regards of size to business. We kind of take all sizes. So we go all the way from startups to, businesses that's been around 20 years or more. So I think that's very interesting on how the insight varies based on where you're at in your journey. But like I said, every single one will benefit someone that's trying to grow because we interview specifically growth-minded business leaders. So during our interview process is how we recognize who's the best fit to be on these. So yeah, really just the answers to the questions. You know, we ask things like, who are your customers? What are your long-term plans for growth? And it's amazing because during the interview, they're like almost leading me to the next question. It's awesome. Like it's like they've been making it very easy for me, and it's pretty much everything that I could imagine, and I know it's just going to get better.
So before you came to Spark Partners, tell everybody a little bit about your background. Geographically, where you're from, educationally, what you studied, and maybe some of your interests that before you came to Spark Partners formed up who you are.
Okay, that is a great question as well. So I was born in Los Angeles. That's where my parents met, got married and everything, but my dad got in the military when I was super, super young. So he actually just retired from the Air Force like yesterday. So he just retired after 24 years. And so I was a military brat my entire life. I moved around. Our first base was in Alaska, and I lived there till I was about 3 years old. And then we moved to Florida. I was there till I was about 10 years old. And then I actually came to Tucson in like middle school years, like 6th to 8th grade. And then we moved away to Germany actually. So I had some time overseas and gained some worldly knowledge at a young age and traveled to all these different amazing countries because I was doing sports and family vacations and stuff. So I actually was there all the way from freshman to senior year. And basically at that point I got to choose when my dad was due for his next base as my senior year, and obviously I actually was going to go to school, which I did, and I got to choose anywhere where I wanted to go, and Tucson just really held a special place in my heart, so I decided to come back here. And yeah, it was the best decision ever. I went to the University of Arizona at that point for about like 2-3 years. And I was I was unsure of what I wanted to do, actually. I was only 18, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll like be interested in criminal justice, and then I changed it again to like public policy, and I kept changing my major, and then I was like, is this even for me, at that time? So yeah, that was a little bit of an identity shift for me, because I got my eyes open to what it means to be your own boss, and that it's even possible, and entrepreneurship. And I started surrounding myself with more of that community, and I kind of never looked back since. So yeah, that's a little bit of my background.
And what was this entrepreneurial venture that I understand you still manage? Tell me about that.
So do you mean the first one that I ever got exposed to it, or what I'm doing now and what's working for me?
What are you doing now, and what's working for you?
Okay. So basically the first thing that I got into, actually, funny enough, was modeling. So freelance modeling. That was like the first thing that really started taking off for me. I knew I wanted to be like influencer. I wanted to, be making videos, and all I knew I wanted to do was make positive impact in the world. Like, out of all things, I didn't care what it was. I just knew I wanted to make positive impact in the world, and I didn't want to work for someone. Those are the two things. So basically, I had a photographer in mind because I had seen her around. Everything happens for a reason. Everything ties in together, and nothing. I don't believe in coincidences at all. So I saw her a lot, and I was like, oh, well, I want good content. I want my content to stand out on social media, like Instagram and stuff. So I'll be a client of hers. She's a photographer. And then as I'm doing the pictures, and when I got delivered the pictures, I was like, wow, this is amazing. Like, I just fell in love with it. I loved how I saw myself. I loved expressing myself in that way. And then ultimately I started inspiring people as my journey with modeling took off. So I was like, you know what? I really enjoy this. I'm going to start putting myself out there. So what I did, which I recommend anyone to use this, is Facebook groups. Facebook groups have genuinely changed my life, and they have genuinely been able to open up so many connections for me. So I went on Facebook groups, like model photographer Facebook groups, and put myself out there, and I got great response, and it just pretty much built from there. And I was able to build my brand. A lot of it was in Phoenix. I was actually driving back and forth, hustling for a while, actually, until I was able to be more selective with the projects that I was involved in. So modeling is definitely what started it for me, I'd say. Before modeling, I had like a door-to-door job, and I thought that was kind of better because at least I was getting paid based off of commissions, like the sales I was making, and not like an hourly thing. So that was like leading up to something, but I still wasn't happy. I still didn't think it was fulfilling for me. So when I got into modeling, it just really boosted my confidence that I can do anything in the world.
And then that dovetailed into Sid Shakes.
Huh?
And then that dovetailed into Sid Shakes, right?
Yeah. So during my my modeling, and it's funny because modeling at a certain point took a negative impact on me, and I'll explain that in a bit, but because it led to Sid Shakes, because basically what happened was I was running back and forth, and it's not like anything in the modeling industry, like no one was telling me not to eat. I was just so busy because, like I said, I was hustling, and I was just like waking up at 3 a.m. and driving places so I could be at Phoenix by sunrise and different things like that, and I was just not really eating. So I was noticing myself losing a lot of weight. And even my parents were telling me, and like my loved ones were like, Sydney, like you don't look too healthy and things like that. Like I understand you're successful in this, but you need to really take care of your health. So that's when I was like, what can I like have that's filling and quick and also enjoyable? So I was like, oh, maybe protein shakes. And I never thought about it really as a business. I knew I wanted to be a business owner. I still was trying to figure that part out. But I basically started looking up powders, and I wanted to go plant-based powder because that's kind of the lifestyle that I've been wanting to go toward, is plant-based eating. And I just noticed that I felt better when I would eat plant-based. So basically I found a powder, and then I just started creating different recipes in my blender by myself, and I was trying them out, and I was like, wow, like this tastes really good. Like this tastes better than any protein shake I've ever tried. I'm not just saying that because I made it. So that really stuck out to me, and I was like, wow. And then I just started doing it like for months. Like I was drinking them, and I started seeing results. I started seeing like the life come back to me, you know, and I started feeling better, and I started looking better, and I started being even more confident, you know. And then I realized, you know, something healthy that tastes good. I was like, maybe this could be something that could help the world. And then that's when I just started designing my menu and coming up with cute names, and everything happened super, super organically. And I actually had no clue it would be where it is today, but I am so happy that I went for it.
And so where can people buy Sid Shakes?
So people can buy, I actually have an order online platform now on my website, sydshakes.com. So SYD shakes.com. And also I love the name too. I was having so much trouble at the name, and some things are just right in front of you. You know what I mean? Because my name's Sydney, so people call me Sid. So I was like, oh, Sid Shakes is cute. And I feel like it flows, and it's memorable. So sydshakes.com is where you can order online. Right now I'm only selling locally here in Tucson and Phoenix, but I do deliver. You can go ahead on my website, choose your package and your flavor. I have 4 flavors available right now, and you can also go ahead and send me a DM on Instagram or Facebook, and I'm more than willing to help you on what I think the best deal is for you.
Okay, and so the products, they're direct to the house. They're not available at retail stores, traditional retail. It's a direct-to-consumer business, right?
Direct-to-consumer right now, but I have a lot of direct-to-business standbys right now. So I kind of went for it. Like I said, everything happened super organically, like I just explained. Like I was doing it for myself, and then I just turned it to a business. I had a couple testers, and people be like, because I wanted to make sure it wasn't just good to me. I wanted to make sure it was good to other people. So I had some friends try it out. I had like a little feedback sheet and all that stuff. So I just went for it. So now I'm kind of circling back a year later and doing some major foundational work. So right now I'm making sure everything's great with like the labeling and the logo, and just making sure everything's super nice and basically timeless. So right now I'm working on the labeling, and as soon as that's done, I'm going to be in a bodega, a wellness center, a gas station. There's going to be other locations that I will be able to announce at that time, but right now it's just direct to consumer.
Okay, so now Manny, you mentioned earlier on April the 15th we're going to be doing a meeting. But it's tell people the platform, tell them kind of what's happening here, what this one's about, and what the future looks like.
Absolutely. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to have a little mini digression as well in talking about since I've known Sydney the past about 3 months, looking at the framework of her business. She's following all the things that we talk about, Adam, at Spark Partners. She's really looking at the unmet need. She's looking at the market and identifying what are the trends. Certainly, plant-based is a trend. Certainly, personalization and direct-to-consumer is a trend. She herself, obviously, is part of a small revolution of folks that are eco-conscious, right? There's no AI necessarily, but there is some asynchronous communication in that you can order anytime you want and all that. And of course, mobility. She operates a lot on her phone and her iPad.
Yes.
And so it's kind of cool to see the foundational pieces sort of forming of her business. And there's some exciting things happening in the future. I'm not going to say anything just yet, but things that are going to take this, really her business from a regional play to really the at least initially the national stage, and then beyond that will be another conversation. But a lot of cool stuff happening.
Yeah.
Now I'll shift over to the.
Oh, I just wanted to say thank you for mentioning that, because I feel like this past year has really just been an opportunity for me to test the market, like you said, like find the unmet need. And I was able to use it for one thing to gain weight and get in my fitness journey and working out. But people that don't even do that can use these as well. People can use them for weight loss because they're low calorie, low carb meal replacements. That's not how I was using it. I was eating plus doing the protein shakes. That was kind of get that weight on. But now I'm able to find out other people's problems and really like understand my customers and be like, wow, well, they want it. They want it as well, but it's like for a whole different reason than me. People with dietary restrictions, some people can't have dairy and things like that. So I think testing the market has showed me so much on why this was meant to be. So I just wanted to add that.
Great insights. Great insights. So yeah, the event that's happening on April 15th is called Growth Takes Grit, and it is really a deep insights into this idea of the status quo and why it is so harmful to a business to stay stuck in that mentality, that mindset. This is one of the things that I've seen since you and I have been working together, Adam. Companies just are, they dig their heels in. They don't want to change. They blame everything in the world except for themselves for making that decision. So at the end of the day, it really takes that grit. It takes that inward look as you, the entrepreneur or the sales or the leader in the company. How do you change in order for you to make that decision to take your company in the direction of where it needs to go, not where it is? I mean, we talk about this all the time.
I would like to say something about that as well. Ever since that I've been being coached by Spark Partners, I have been able to they've really opened up my mind, like about how far that this business can go and how fast. Like I didn't ever think about scaling before I met them. I was thinking that this was the way and just let it grow organically. And I didn't really have a vision of the whole future, and I think that's absolutely crucial even when you're just starting. So check out.
Well, now they're back again. So we actually brought Sydney in as we started this podcast. The initial connection was to have her be the moderator / host of our webinars that we're going to do. So I think we're finally getting around to that. So again, where will the webinars, when people where do they go to sign up to be a part of the live seminar? Where do they go to sign up for that?
Sparkguides.com.
Okay. And then it's going to be on April the 15th at 1 o'clock
11 o'clock Pacific.
Oh, 11 o'clock Pacific time. So it'll be 1 o'clock Central time, 2 o'clock Eastern.
Correct.
Right? Okay. And what platform will they be going to when they log on to this on the 15th?
It'll be Zoom. So when you go to the sparkguides.com, you're going to fill out a form. You're going to put your email address in there, and then it'll go into your calendar. And then on that particular day, you can log on to Zoom. Everybody's used to Zoom and communicating in that way. So it'll be an hour-long event. The first half will be Adam and I, sort of mainly Adam, discussing some of the foundational principles of the status quo. Certainly, Adam, you give the foundation. I come in with more of the sales marketing angle, more the implementation angle, and it'll be moderated by Sydney, so she'll be asking us questions. And then the second half will be a lot of Q&A. So it's really exciting. Bring your questions, bring your observations, bring your frustrations. And, we kind of talk about tough love, right? Adam and I, we don't like to sugarcoat because it's at the end of the day, it's about growing your business. And if you can't handle a little heat in the kitchen, you're in the wrong business. You should go work for the post office or something. Get out of this situation of, we were talking about earlier about a lot of entrepreneurs, they eat what they hunt. They eat what they kill. And if you're the business leader of a company with 20 people and you're making the bad decision of staying in the status quo, well, guess what? 18 months later, you're going to be closing up your business because you made the wrong decision. You're stuck in your own head.
So, Manny and Sydney, what do you foresee as the frequency of these webinars in the future?
We'd love to have them once a month if everything goes well.
Oh, so okay. So, can people sign up for some kind of an email so that they would know about these in advance? Do we have a communication site for that?
Yeah, of course.
Yet?
Just go to our website and sign up on the website. There's a pop-up when you go to our website. Get on our email list, and every time there's a new webinar, you'll be notified, and there you go.
Good. Well, I think some of the conditions you were talking about in terms of business and how we operate, it's important for people to understand. There's 3 generations here now, 3 people, 3 generations, all of which operate in a gig economy on a regular basis. I started this business many, many years ago, and of course people know I wrote a book, I wrote columns for Forbes, and the big complaint was always that I wrote too much, that I couldn't say enough in 500 words. And I said, well, I can't, the world's too complicated for 500 words. So I got kind of famous for long format type stuff, 1,500 words sometimes. And that was the way I communicated in written language. Then I met you, Manny, and what we did was we said, okay, what's the value proposition? Well, the value proposition is to educate people that want to grow their business. And we really wanted to focus on small and mid-sized companies. So that included startups through mid-size, recognizing that it's very tough for people in big corporations to work with organizations like us. So that was our value proposition. It's all about growth. We've always said that from the beginning, giving people tools to help them grow. And I had started, again, long format stuff, coaching and workshops. And, that was the format. We switched it. We got together. Manny came in. And the idea was, okay, Adam, less writing, more talking. We need to get this stuff out there so people can hear it, people can listen to it on podcasts, people can view it on podcasts. And so for those of you that don't know, we've been doing this for almost 2 years now. And we also have had now out our classes for about 1.5 years. So the master class, it's available, 28 modules. You don't even have to have the real Adam Hartung or Manny Turan there. It's going to be a virtual situation.
Yep.
This is what we talk about all the time, right? Coming up with new value delivery systems for your value proposition. And so the training programs that are available at sparkpartners.com were the first step towards that. And now what we're doing is we're moving that next step into value delivery system, creating yet a third value delivery system. Now we have Sydney on board. We're going really to that quick punch, more modern technology, trying to say, okay, let's keep this under 6 minutes, keep it down, 4 or 5 minutes, much more heavier use of social media, more delivery via social media, focus on YouTube, Instagram, those sorts of platforms, distilling down the message, making it easier, clearer for people to understand, and communicating in a way, I think, that's easier for people that are younger to grasp. Like I said, when I was growing up, we learned with books. That was how we learned. Of course, then television came along, and it changed the way that Manny, your generation, learned, a lot more visual involvement. Yeah. And now we've got social media there. So I hope people can recognize what we're trying to do here is actually practice what we preach.
Absolutely.
And develop new value delivery systems to help reach our customers and offer our value proposition.
Yep. And that's exactly why when I was looking at who to bring on to be that third voice, I looked at, again, we practice what we preach, we drink our own Kool-Aid. And I thought, okay, Adam is the sort of the boomer-ish generation.
Yeah.
I'm the Gen X, the sort of the middle, 40 to, or 37 to whatever the age is, 52. And then we needed somebody who was the younger generation, and I also wanted somebody of color, hopefully a woman, because I wanted to make sure that people understood that the world is not a man's world. Of course, we've been that way for a while for a lot of different reasons. I won't go into the details, but we got to open it up. And so I thought, you know what, let's find somebody who is that right piece, that keystone. And I started sniffing around, and boom, found Sydney, and I thought, let's see what she says. And instantly we had that conversation, and there's been this momentum building, and I'm really excited. The next couple months are going to be eye-opening for a lot of people, and I'm glad that we're all together at Spark Partners here to be able to deliver the message of innovation, trends, customer development, understanding your customer, competitors, all the stuff we talk about, back to the course, Think Innovation, which is a foundational masterclass that gets you to think differently, think like an innovator. Elon Musk thinks differently than most people. So we teach you to think that way.
So again, everybody that's listening to this podcast, Spark on the Street. Get out there, take a listen to it. It's going to be the new way we're going to try to communicate, in addition to the ones we've always done. They're not going away, but it's trying to expand our audience, be able to reach more people, and offer the program in a way that's different, a different format that works for other people that aren't currently enjoying the formats that we have. So I hope everybody enjoys Spark on the Street. Take a listen to those first 4 episodes. In the future, I'll be starting to send out on my social media and through my emails, not only information about our podcast, but we'll be bringing Spark on the Street into that communication. And I'm hopeful that some of the people that are my age take a moment to listen. It might be the reason finally to sign up for Instagram. For those of you out there who haven't done so yet, this is your golden moment. If you're not regularly looking at YouTube, here's another good reason to go to YouTube. We'll find some way to drag you into the modern media world. And I hope we get a lot more people of a lot of ages, diversity of background. And, the next step will be improving and increasing our international reach. That's coming down the road. So thank you very much for your time today, Sydney.
Of course. Yeah, one thing, video is the future. For sure.
Absolutely. And I do have one more thing to say here. Another angle where you'll be able to consume Spark Partners material is a brand new Roku TV channel that is it's called Futures TV. It's being put on by a group called the International Market and Competitive Intelligence Magazine, a guy named Ram Goyoso. And so that is actually launching here this week as well. So now we're on all platforms. The internet obviously is the foundation, but Roku TV. So take a look at Futures TV, and we're going to have our show there as well. So excited to see what happens.
It's on every Tuesday and Thursday at 4:30. Do you know which time zone it is? 4:30 Eastern or Central or
I believe it's Central, but I'm not sure.
Okay. So again, that's a Roku channel running 24 hours a day. It's live television, and they've asked us to pick up our podcast from the last 2 years and start running some of those. We'll talk about that more next week again, and we'll get some more information out on email and social media, how people can connect to that. So we're trying to expand, folks. Give us a listen.
All right, excited to see what we have for this summer. Adam, take care. We'll talk to you next week.
So happy to be here. Thank you.
Bye-bye.